Okay, resetters, 3 signs your poop isn't healthy. And if you're not looking at your poop, you're gonna wanna look at your poop after this, I promise you. So let's dive into what you need to know about the health of your poop and what does it say about your body. First thing I want you to know, again, if I go high level, is that your poop is how you're getting toxins out of you. So it's really, really important you have a daily bowel movement. If you're not having a daily bowel movement, all of those toxins are getting caught inside of you. And when toxins are in you, they destroy your hormones, they destroy your brain, they lead to chronic disease. I've sat with so many patients where I've just been really, truly blown away at how they've accepted a bowel movement every 3 days or once a week. I mean, I had a patient years ago that had a bowel movement every month. It was and she had a lot of toxic issues that we had to overcome. So first thing I want you to focus on is the person I want to address is the person who is getting constipated, because if you are getting constipated regularly, your poop's not only, just because you can't see it in the toilet, it's not healthy. And it's not healthy for a variety of reasons. So for starters, remember that you have these little villi in the inner lining of your gut, and they're pushing the stools out of you. You know when you feel that gurgling inside your body, and you're oh yeah, there's you ate something or you're hungry? That's the villi sometimes moving and trying to move things through you. And the villi get destroyed by steroids, birth control, stress, toxic foods. So we got to bring the health of the villi back, and what they love is fiber. This is why fiber is so great for constipation. The more fiber you eat, the more you reinvigorate these villi. So make sure that you're doing that. The other piece, and this is something that's not being talked a lot about, it's in my new book. I'm really excited as I'm writing the next book to really bring this to light, especially for menopausal women. And it's called low vagal tone. So vagal tone is the measurement of your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve is the nerve that carries information from your gut up into your brain. And so when your vagus nerve is shut down because of stress, that's how it gets shut down. You get too into your sympathetic nervous system. You're too in fight or flight all the time, so the vagus nerve gets depleted, and now you have low vagal tone. Everything in the digestive system slows down, and so you'll have more constipation. So I know the video is about the health of your poop, but the first thing, it's I couldn't do this video without explaining to you that constipation is a sign of unhealthy poop because it's not getting out of you. And the villi are important, and the vagal tone is important. Again, the other thing before I move on to the next one that you can look at when you look at your poop is remember that the diversity of foods matter to your microbiome. So if you know that these villi, you resonated with what I said about that, not only will fiber help, but diversity of vegetables, diversity of foods will bring back the health of your microbiome. Fasting helps too because it gets rid of the bad one, and then reintegrating the 3 Ps, I wrote about that in Fast Like a Girl, will help to bring that diversity back up. Second one, this is really interesting. The presence of mucus in your stools. Now this is big. There's 2 things, and not to get too personal, but there are 2 things that I do after every bowel movement, or 2 things I look for. I go back and I look. When I'm peeing, I look at the color of my urine. If my urine is really yellow and I haven't been doing supplements, I know I may be dehydrated, and I need to be able to look at hydrating myself more. With poop, if there's mucus in there, that's a sign your body's fighting an infection. Remember, whether it's mucus in your nose, mucus in your chest, your body creates mucus to fight an infection. That's what it does. So we want to make sure that if you have any mucus in your stools that you may be fighting an infection. There is a whole immune system going on in your gut. And so it will release mucus into the stools as they move along your small and large intestine. And it could be a sign that you're fighting an infection. Okay, the third one, and this is a biggie, and that's the smell. I want you to know when you're eating a healthy diet that your stools should not smell. So really, I can't emphasize this enough. So if you have smelly stools, and this even goes for flatulence, so if you have smelly gas, that is a sign of gut dysbiosis. And gut dysbiosis is just a fancy term for there is an imbalance of bad bacteria and good bacteria. So the bad bacteria may be winning and the good bacteria are not. If there's the presence that maybe you have too many bad bacteria, not enough good, my favorite strategy for that, throw a 24-hour fast at it. Let's get rid of all of those bad bacteria. Let's re-energize the intestinal stem cells so we can repair the inner lining of the gut. And now we're going to bring this balance of good and bad bacteria. We're going to primarily get rid of the bad, and we have an opportunity to grow the good. And then after your 24-hour fast, add in the 3 Ps, the polyphenol, probiotic, and prebiotic foods that I spoke about in Fast Like a Girl. So let's bring microbial balance back, because those bad bacteria can often smell if they're winning. The other smell piece can be from a food allergy. You know, you're not absorbing gluten. I mean, again, not to get too personal, but why not go there? You may gluten and dairy are 2 of the biggest food allergies that you're going to want to address. So you might want to make sure that you look at those and remove those first. Remove dairy, pasteurized dairy. If you can switch over to goat or sheep is fine, or you can switch over to raw cow's dairy. Those tend to be better. And remove gluten and see if the smell goes away. If it does, bingo, you got your answer. The other piece is that we can look at the presence of this, like I said, when we look at a food allergy in general, what we can start to do is to heal that food allergy. If you're like, I don't want to get rid of my gluten and my dairy, what we can start to do is take enzymes. So there are gluten and lactose enzymes. I don't know why the world got really used to lactate. I know it's a brand, but lactose enzymes to break down dairy, but we never did it with gluten. So what if we start to take some enzymes to help break down that food so that it's easier on our digestive system, and see if that changes the smell? So that's another piece of this. And then the last piece, and one that I really, really want to emphasize, is toxins. So a lot of you that are eating toxic ingredient. Now, what's a toxic ingredient? If you're not reading your ingredient list, please read your ingredient list. Every food you put in your mouth, you should know what the ingredients are. And if there's words that look like a chemistry experiment, they're probably chemicals. Unfortunately, I can tell you here in America, we have so many chemicals that are allowed in our foods that are dangerous, and it's horrible. Okay, I gotta interrupt this video because I have a free guide for you so you can master fasting. It's called A Beginner's Guide to a Fasting Lifestyle. And all you've got to do is click here and you can jump right in. So just because it's in a restaurant, just because it's in your grocery store, does not mean that it's safe for your health. And when we're eating more of these ingredients that are man-made, when we start to see these chemicals in our food, they will make our stools smell. So this is why it's always good to check your stools, to smell afterwards, to like be aware of these subtleties. But don't, we can make fun of the smell of our stools, but it could be life-changing if you could use the hacks that I just mentioned and really dive into making sure that your stools are healthy. And ultimately, what I would tell you you want to see with your stools, you want to have it daily, it shouldn't smell, and you should be able to get a bowel movement out of you very quickly. If those are not happening, then we've got some gut issues we've got to address. And this is why I did this video, so you can know these strategies and heal yourself. Okay, if you loved this video, you're gonna wanna check out the next video of my food series. On this video, want to talk about the healthy foods that you might be eating that will stop you from a long and healthy life.